So this 1997 TOPPS Star Wars A New Hope set was the first ever Star Wars trading card set ever created by TOPPS. And in this video, I'm gonna go through someone's old collection here and talk to you about what makes this set so special. And if you come across a set like this, what cards are most important. So let's get started here. What you need to know about this is that it released in '77 to coincide with the release of the film. So these cards are considered to be the characters' quote unquote rookie cards. It's a hard term to use. A lot of people don't agree with it because it's not necessarily, they're not sports players, right? They're not rookies. They're not considered rookies. I don't imagine it was Mark Hamill's first movie he ever came out in, or Carrie Fisher's. So another way to kind of say that it's a rookie without saying it's a rookie, it's that it's their first card as that character. So first time Mark Hamill is depicted as Luke Skywalker in the most beautiful story and the most epic story ever told, Star Wars. So this set, it comes in 5 different kind of series, I think they call it, and it's all based on numbering. So like the first chunk is in that original blue Starfield border that you all recognize, and we're going to be going through those. We have the red series, yellow, green, and orange. I'm going to start looking through them and kind of just keep talking to you guys about what makes this set special. And overall, I think a question I get from a lot of people is that you do see a lot of these everywhere. And unfortunately, they're not as valuable as you may think, because value today is very condition sensitive. And these are notorious and known for being just not in the greatest condition. So when it comes to getting old sets like this in person, you have to be really mindful of the fact that only graded in great condition cards from this set sell for a good amount. And a good amount being, 50 up to the record-breaking sale for the Luke Skywalker one for $78,000 at auction in late November in 2023. So 2023 was a big year for Star Wars. That was when the Darth Vader had a 22 Galaxy Chrome Portrait Superfractor 1/1 did over 20,000 on Golden, and that just kind of catapulted all these record-breaking sales that year for Star Wars. And definitely, I think this is the vintage set that you'd look into for Star Wars. So this set, like I mentioned, is in 5 series, each with a different color border. There's 330 cards in the base set, and there's about 55 stickers. Stickers of the big characters are also what do really well in this. Here we go. So I'm going to put out, I don't think we have any oranges in here. So I'm not going to go through all of them for the video. I am for this. This is something that a collector shared with us. So this is how they shared it with us in the Ziplocs. I think he went through them and put them in order. So I want to make sure to respect that and keep them in order there as much as I can. That's a yellow series. This is a pack of a red series here. And a blue. So we're missing the green and the orange, right? Yeah, green and the orange. So there's only 5. And there's actually some Empire Strikes Back cards right here too, but we're not going to go over that in this video. But in this particular one is the first time that you see Yoda and Boba Fett. So those are their rookie or quote-unquote first cards for that. So I'll look through that and show you if we find one. I actually really love some of the cards in this set too. I want you guys to understand too that every single one of these cards for the most part has been reprinted in Chrome. TOPPS loves to do tributes and loves to do throwbacks. So particularly for the yellow series, I'm going to show you really quickly here how these look like. These are less portrait cards, but more like scene cards. That's a good one right there. Has been reprinted in Galaxy Chrome for sure. Luke Skywalker's Dream. And I don't imagine we wouldn't ever see these reprinted again. That's them, Luke and Leia about to do the leap of faith. Pretty cool. So if you're ever looking through a set like this and are looking for, okay, what would be worth it to grade? What's valuable? Number one is you always have to look at condition. If it's off-centered, if it's stained, if the corners are terrible, most likely it would not be worth the grade. And then the second thing you have to consider is the big characters or the big cards that are sought after in this particular set. So for the yellow series, I don't think there's a big one that's too sought after, one single card that's too sought after. So we have most of the cards in this collection are yellows. But for me in particular, I think Darth Vader is always the character that you want to go after in these sets and take a look at condition really well. Because I imagine a PSA 10 in any of these Vader cards, even if it's the yellow series or whatever, would be worth the grade. I did look up some comps recently for some of these Vaders, like in a PSA 8 or 9, doing about around $50. So if you have you think you have a chance at a 9 or a 10 in these, it's definitely you can get some money back from the grading in that as well. Also depending on how much you're into the collection that you purchase. So these are some that I pre-picked out of those just because I think the centering looks really great. This corner is not too great, but in SGC it might get a 9. Same thing with this. The only thing that worries me about this particular card is that stain or that blemish on the top there. And then this one particularly for me is a special card because the very first Star Wars card I purchased was a reprint of this card, which is 96 Topps Chrome Liberated Princess Star Wars Archives in Clear Zone. So that's in a SGC 10. So I really love that card too. I wouldn't mind having the original and close to a 10 if I could ever achieve that. It's something that I would be interested in. So I would definitely grade that. And the reason why we're going with SGC in this instance is because we really do want to go after that 9.5 as much as possible. It's extremely hard to gem these cards, but a 9.5 is a lot better than a PSA 9. It just is, especially for vintage. SGC is also known to be the experts in grading vintage cards, so those, I believe, have more value when it's graded by SGC. They're reputable, they're known for this, so that's why we're doing SGC. We're helping out this collector. So in the yellow series, which is cards 133 to 198, so we're definitely looking for the Darth Vaders here. And me, hopefully, if you find a Leia that I like, that looks like you could gem, I might just send that in and try to purchase it from the collector here. So that Liberated Princess 100%. I'm hoping it gets a high grade and I'll buy it, especially because I specifically went through this. C-3PO, the fantastic droid 3PO. Unfortunately, not so much. That's a really great image as well. But again, we want to stay focused here. We want to stay clear. We want to make sure we're not overdoing it and spending money on SGC grades, which is still about, I don't know off the top of my head how much SGC grading costs right now, but you don't want to do it too much. It adds up. You want to make sure that they're clearly big characters in the best possible condition. So this is how you could help anybody who has any of these cards out with their collection. I personally get that a lot, so I went through these already and I picked out the best out of these bunches, and that's the ones that you saw in Card Savers already. So we're looking for Vaders. Yeah, and I just think this is a really fun way to dig deep back into what makes Star Wars cards so special, the original sets. This is the reason why I believe even today the Star Wars card market is so strong, because you have people that have been collecting Star Wars cards since 1977. It really does make a difference. And I'm really excited to see what Topps continues to do with bringing back the old set and bringing back some of that nostalgia for collectors that have been collecting since then. And even then, reminding new collectors or giving new collectors the opportunity to learn about the old stuff and dive deep back into it again too. I think is super special. The blue Starfields, I believe cards 1 through 66 were reprinted in Sapphire a couple years ago, and that set just did really well. This is like first appearance Darth Vader, which is really cool. It's not his rookie cards. What I mean by first appearance is that it's the first time he came out in the movie theaters, first time we met Darth Vader. So I think that's a really cool card too overall, but unfortunately, these scene cards too are just not, they just don't do the same as the portrait cards are. You want to look for cards that have the character by themselves on the card. Those are what those are what sell the best. And you can make your own, I guess what I could say is your own explanations on that. I think particularly it's just nice to have the character on one card. I call them portrait cards, character center cards, I think you can call them too. And I just think that's another really fascinating aspect of Star Wars cards, is that you have it all, right? You have your sets that are very character centered on the card. You have your sets that are scene cards, like your legacies, like your Mandalorian chromes. And I think there's collectors for every single one of those sets. But specifically, the most popular ones and the most in-demand ones are the ones that are character centered, just like these right here. So I'm excited to see what these do. Let's take a look at the red series here. That's another one that we have the most of here. So we went through the yellows. And these are the reds, and we'll save the blues for last. The reds are card numbers 67 through 132. Off the top of my head, I didn't do too much research into this one, just looking in. So you're experiencing this one for the first time with me here. Again, I'm going to be looking for portrait cards. I'm going to be looking for cards that remind me of cards that have come out recently. That's probably a good one right there too, R2-D2 and C-3PO. The only reason why I would say maybe not so much is I think they have a card in the blue Starfield that's a little more important than that one too, but doesn't mean that they're not cool. Like that Han Solo and Chewbacca. The Millennium Falcon. Cool stuff here, everyone. Cool stuff. Okay, that one, Luke in Disguise, is a pretty good one too. We have Luke in Disguise has been reprinted in a few Chrome Black sets recently too. But I'm going to go ahead and just save this again. Be super, what's the word I'm looking for? Super focused and disciplined, and only do the Vaders. Only do the Vaders, because that's where you're going to get the most value. So Lord Vader and Soldier. He is just the GOAT of Star Wars cards. It just is a fact. So these in particular, I'm looking at the centering is not there, unfortunately. And this one centering is a little bit more there, but the corners not very great. And even the coloring on this one, not very great. But these are ones that if you saw in perfect condition, I would definitely give a try in grading, a better condition. The Leia, again, I'm sending the Leia because that one's for me. But yeah, you want to focus on Vaders. And then in the blue Starfields, I'll talk to you guys a little bit about which ones you want to look for there. And the most important cards in the set are 3 cards. I'll give you guys an opportunity right now to start thinking and guessing what those cards are, and I'll reveal it in a little bit. But yeah, take a little brain break and tell me what you guys think are the 3 most important cards in this set. They're the cards that sell for the most, are the most valuable, that are most sought after, that do the most in PSA 10s. Let me know. Let me know. Write it in the comments and tell me if you got it right. Tell me if you got it right. Oops. Let's see. This one's the one that I'm the least familiar with, I think. This red series. It's a lot. It's so cool to see and go through these and imagine them being pulled out of packs in the 70s. Isn't that awesome? Oh, that's a good one too. Right there. That's a beautiful Leia. Also has been reprinted in sets since then. So that's a classic Leia image. Again, part of this is just me, giving someone advice on what I think they should grade or not. But if you're going through a set like this and you love Princess Leia and you love that card, by all means, see, that's another great one too. I love that one. Personally, I think it's a good one, but already seeing not so great corners there, so I wouldn't send them. But again, if you're like a big Obi-Wan fan and that's one that you want to try to grade and try it and have fun, that's what it's all about. I'm not telling you guys what to do. I'm telling you guys the advice I'm giving, but it's subjective. Everybody can hobby the way they want to hobby. You want to collect these cards or you don't. It's up to you. You can love these. You can hate them. It's nobody's business what you do with your time and what you do with your cards, quite honestly. This is nice. That's a 3PO. 3PO. Don't let anybody yuck your yum. These are just things I've learned along the way, okay? Don't let anybody tell you that something's not good versus something is super good. That's not what this hobby has been built on. See this one? Again, not liking the corners too much, but those are definitely ones that I would take a closer look at. Personally, if I was going through a collection like this for myself to grade. Droids to the rescue. Okay. And now, last but not least, I'm excited here. So before we start this, it's time for the answers to the quiz that I gave earlier. Is what are the 3 most important cards in 77? And again, if you want to disagree with me, that's fine. Again, this is just an opinion and what I've seen, and I'm very comfortable saying that these 3 cards are the most important cards in this set. If you disagree with me, I want to hear it. Message me, let me have it. But it's definitely going to be 100% number 1 Luke Skywalker. Like we mentioned before, it's a Pop 9 and a PSA 10. And the most recent one did $78,000 in November of 2003. That is Luke Skywalker. This is his story. It's his saga. He is the main character, if you will. Luke Skywalker, number 1. Darth Vader, again, I keep telling you, is the guy for Star Wars, the guy that everybody chases, most high demand, one of the best villains in all of cinema and all of storytelling ever. Darth Vader, his first card in this set is the number 7. It's actually not a portrait card. Hopefully we find one in here and we can show you, but it's him and off to the side, but he's one of the most iconic villains of all time. So that's number 2. And number 3 is, of course, when there's ever any controversy, a lot of talkings around a card, it's always historical, it's always impactful, is card number 207, the C3PO quote-unquote error card, where he is shown, again, another iconic character in Star Wars, C3PO, a little enhanced in one area, which was printed as an error, wasn't meant to go out, and was later then corrected once the set was reprinted again. But there's some out there in the wild, and that's definitely an important card in the set. And that's out of the green series that we don't have cards of here. But again, if you are going through an old set like that, that's definitely one that you want to watch out for. That's in the green border, card number 207, C3PO in an error card. And you guys can go ahead and look that up on eBay if you want to see what I'm talking about there. But there's a specific thing about it that makes it an error. Super enhanced. Here we go, everyone. So this is the original Blue Starfield. These are cards number 1 through 66. And we got 2 of the important ones in here. Like I said, is Luke Skywalker number 1 and number 7. So let's see if we can find any here. Oh, that's a good one too. That's super off-centered though. But that's the R2-D2. Han. There he is. That is Darth Vader number 7. Darth Vader number 7. You know what? It's not in terrible, terrible condition either. I don't imagine it could get a 10 because of the corners, because of this right here. But I think it's worth it. I think it's fun to have it in a slab. So you might as well just try it out. I would. So this is number 7. You could see that right there. We'll definitely send that one in. Excited to see what that does. We'll do a video following up with what grades these got. Jawas. Very cool. Again, it's nice to go through these and kind of imagine someone pulling them out of packs back in the 70s and just go through it and realize that this is what kicked off Star Wars cards. It's few enjoy Star Wars cards today. It's super special. Super special. There's another Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader scene. That's a cool Luke too, but it's not the number one. That's another cool Vader. They're a little off-centered. And a Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill. And that was it. Unfortunately, no Luke Skywalker number ones in that, but I hope you get excited about this find and going through this and learned a little bit more about the original set that started it all for us here, Star Wars card collectors and lovers. So, I mean, let me know if you enjoyed this video and if you have any questions, if I can help with anything else. And I'm excited to tell you what these come back as is going to be our final grading submission to SGC. Shout out to the collector, and thank you so much for letting us go through your collection. That was a lot of fun. And let me know if you've ever gone through a collection like this, if you have one, or if you're going to go out hunting for one now. So I'm going to do a lot more of these because I had a lot of fun. Thank you for watching, liking, and subscribing. I'll see you for the next one.